This is an after-school program podcast.
Welcome to the Home Studio Hangout podcast, where we explore what it's like building, running, and working out of a home studio with your hosts, Joshua Matotek, Andrew Simmons, and many guests in different areas of the music industry.
And welcome back to the podcast, Home Studio Hangout podcast with me, your boy Andrew, and this guy over here, Josh.
The delay, dude. It's
Joshua. So it's like when I texted you about Teddy sharing our episode. It was like Joshua.
Yep.
Yeah, we're back. We're doing another episode. Today's episode is, well, you probably know what it's about because it's in the title and you can read, apparently. I mean, you could probably read, at least I assume you can. It is the 6-month recap. We have officially been doing this podcast for 6 months, or we are in the 6th month.
Well, technically 6 months. Realistically, It's been like over a year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's we started doing episodes and test episodes like
April, May.
mid pandemic, like when you were still in Florida.
Yeah. I was all sweaty.
Yeah, dude, it was so
Dude,
hot.
remember whenever I did that one episode without AC?
Yeah, you were literally just dripping sweat.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was also the time where like all of my clothes were in the laundry and all I had was a hoodie to put on. So like I was just sitting there just getting very, very damp.
Dude, basted, dog.
Oh, bro, what did I tell you?
Josh just
Should I
bought
answer
some
it on the
cables.
podcast? Here. Hello?
Hey Josh, it's John over at Sweetwater. How you doing today?
Doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, got an order for some hose cables from you, so thank you so much. Those are getting packed up right now for you.
Oh, awesome. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Hey, you too, brother.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
And that is the service from Sweetwater.com, my friends.
What did I tell you? Literally, so before this episode, I ran to the music store to go buy just like a Y cable for headphones. And I was looking around, I couldn't find it, and I just told the dude, listen, I just need a headphone splitter. And he was like this. I was like, no, not like this. And so he pulls up this other one. He goes, oh yeah, this is exactly what you need. Check out, get home, look at it, wrong. It splits to left and right. And I specifically told him I didn't want that. So I was like, I'm just going to go on Sweetwater and order like 3 of these. And as I'm checking out with Drew on Zoom here, I was like, dude, I can't wait for John to call me and be like, hey, man, just wanted to see how those cables are doing. Called me literally 5 minutes later.
Shout out to John, man, being on top of his game, dude.
Someone give that man a raise.
Bro, that's that Sweetwater customer service right there, man. We love our Sweetwater reps, bro. We do. We shout out to all the Sweetwater reps keeping us.
Shout out to Dan at Vintage King. That guy's crazy. He basically sat down with me, figured out what monitors I should get, and then I found them used for almost $1,000 less. And he was just like, dude, I'm so glad that you found that deal. And I was like,
heck yeah, dude.
This is love, man.
I love it, bro. That's what love is right there.
I almost booked a flight to Detroit just so I could like go give him a hug or something.
It's amazing. Anyway, yeah. So it is 6 months into the episode. We're just 6 months into the podcast episode. So we're going to kind of just do some recaps on like where we are. We did one for the beginning of the year. And it was probably pretty close to the beginning of the year, if I remember correctly. It was like end of January, I think, when we did that one. So we haven't really talked about like what we are doing personally in about 6 months either. So, Josh, you can go because I have a decent amount of stuff, I guess.
Yeah. So I, like, you know, for those who didn't listen to me ramble about where I was, 6 months ago, around this time last year, I decided I'm going to pivot to pop music entirely. And it was a real struggle, especially like working a day job and stuff like that. And still been just chipping away at that. And I have some cool artists that I'm working with right now that I'm very stoked on, closing at higher rates than I ever had before. My mixes are the best that they've ever been. Shout out to Dan at Vintage King again.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I don't know. I feel like I've really like, whenever you're pushing for something new, I feel like your point of view changes a lot. And so it just seems like every week I'm learning new things and I'm getting closer to where I want to be. I'm getting a better idea of where I want to be. Because
Gotcha.
like that's another thing that I feel like nobody really talks about is like that clarity that you get like as you're working through things.
Mhm.
And so it's been really cool. I'm connecting with some really cool artists. I found some local people here that are doing really cool things as well, which is awesome because I never imagined that happening in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I'm just excited. Like the world's starting to open up again. So I'm excited to travel and write and write and write and then produce and then write some more and just
And maybe hit a couple shows here and there.
yeah. Oh, dude, we're going to see Slipknot
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
on the Knotfest Roadshow in October.
Heck
It's gonna be
yeah.
sick. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah, it's just like right now we're just still just rolling and building, and I'm very, very happy with where I'm at.
Heck yeah, dude. Do you feel like at least since let's go like since January. Obviously, you said like you feel like your mixes are getting a lot better. What do you think has changed in the last 6 months that you feel like you're like be more specific with like
Dude, I just mixed more songs.
you think
Like,
so? You think it's just
yeah,
like
like
more repetition?
yeah, like that's something that like a while back, like Seth had made this post where he was like, you'll learn more from mixing 10 songs in 2 days than the same song for a month straight. And like that really kind of hit home with me. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm at this point where I just need to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I've just been trying to write every single day. I've been trying to mix as often as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this week alone, I've written 3 songs that every time like I wrote one song and I was like, this is my best song yet. Well, this I've been on a streak for about a month now. And so I wrote one song and I was like, this is great. Then I wrote the next song and I was like, okay, this is the best song I've ever written. Then the next song I wrote, I was like, okay, no, this is the best song I've ever written. And then I wrote another song and I was like, this is the best song I've ever written. And like, it's just really cool. Like, because one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got was that song that you really care about right now isn't the best song that you'll ever write.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like an interesting thought that like as creatives, we're just always chasing something that's unattainable.
For sure.
Like Charlie Puth still sits down and he's like, oh wait, no, this is the best song ever.
Yeah.
Like it's just how it works. And same with mixing and same with producing. Like I sat down with Sam last night and he was like, dude, I have this song I've been sitting on for like a year and I'm not going to put it out. So why don't you do something with it? So we recorded like the main riff, recorded like a few different guitar parts. And then I just like put the whole song together and I was listening to it today and I was like, this is the best production I've ever done. And so like,
heck yeah.
That's just been my goal is every time I sit down to work on something, I want it to be the
Mm-hmm.
best that I've done yet, because then I'll never stop growing.
What do
it's
you-
like 6 months ago, it was just like, I found myself doing the same things on every song just because like I was comfortable.
Mhm.
And like looking back on those songs, like they sound amateur in comparison.
Yeah. What do you feel like is something really particular, like more like, how do I say this? Like very actionable that you learned, like, oh, I tried this EQ move and it helped, or I tried this compression and like, or I compressed differently, or I tried this production technique and I've been really digging that, or you know what I mean? Like that's helped you kind of unlock something.
Oh, 100% committing on the way in. I've been using a bunch of UAD plugins. So like right now I have my vocals set up where all I have to do is make a few like dynamic moves and
Mhm.
DS, and like that's the vocal mix.
Heck yeah.
And I'm getting some of my best vocal mixes, even though I hate this microphone. I'm keeping it just because I figured it out. And so like that was a huge moment. Another thing is just organizing my workflow. I took the Lewis Bell course and I saw his template and it blew me away. I was like, okay, I need to get better at this. So I made my Ableton template, and I have it set up just so all the sounds I'm constantly going for are just right there. I organized like my folders and stuff. So I have a bunch of that sound packs on the side where I could just pull samples that I like to use, and then the rest I'll just go in to splice. I've been trying to commit just a whole lot. I stopped for the most part. Like I love using MIDI to like program like a drum rack or like a sampler. And like while that's cool, it's easy to just like stick to those 16 sounds that you have. And I realized that was a huge limiting thing for me, is every time I would go to do drums, I would just work with the 16 sounds that I loaded on the first pad there, and then not really add much else until it gets to like the production stage. And so lately I'll just open up my template and I have 5 drum kits in there, and today I didn't use sounds out of any of them. I ended up just deleting all my drum kits and just using audio, and
Just
then
dragging,
that's cool,
dragging and dropping stuff. Like,
Yeah,
what
just,
I do a lot.
yeah, and then just clip gain for the velocity, and then like I once that part's done, it all just gets consolidated. And yeah, I've been doing that, and that's been a blast because it makes you think more critically of what that sample is doing and how it's doing whatever it is.
And I will say, especially in Ableton, you can make things happen a lot quicker. Working that way, in my opinion. Like once you're printing stuff and once you're committing stuff, it's really easy to go, oh, I want to make this, grab a verb trail on it, and then you reverse it, right? So it's easy to print that real quick, make a reverse lead in on a vocal, or change keys, repitch like a kick that might like hit slightly differently in certain parts.
That's the only workflow thing that I kind of like better in Ableton than Cubase is the resampling feature. Because then like today I made a build using a few different drums, and I just hit Command G, grouped it all, sent that to an audio track, and I just resampled it really quickly, and then I was able to just...
Then you can affect the actual audio that's been printed, and you can like crush it or do different things to it just on that, and then print that.
Yeah, and like so that's been really cool. The resampling function's awesome.
Yeah.
Hate doing vocals in Ableton, but that's whatever. They're all just demos. But yeah, like, and also keeping it all separate, like really just writing and building out everything in Ableton and then exporting it for like final production and mixing.
Yeah, dude, that's Cubase. Literally the exact same process that I use, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I've been using Cubase a lot less because I've been in writing mode. But
when you get into final push out mode, you'll definitely be in Cubase a lot more.
Right. Like, and I found some workarounds. Like, I hate all the key commands in Ableton. So real simple. I just mapped Command Option B and Command Option L to the mouse wheel, like the center click, and then the top button that I have here.
Nice.
And then the bottom button will do Command Shift M, which is to make a new MIDI track.
Yeah.
And so then that way, or new MIDI event, not track.
New MIDI event. New MIDI track is Command Shift T.
Yeah. And so I've just been doing that. And then I have it set up in Logitech. So I switch between 3 different mice because like I'm destined to get carpal tunnel. And so all 3 of my mice have those same 3 buttons. And then I have it mapped out to do the same thing in across all those, but only whenever I'm in Ableton. And then so in Cubase, it has the same things routed because that's also for the bottom and then the side.
Yeah.
But then the bottom button is F3 because I now have a touch bar on my laptop and I hate using it. So that'll pull up my mixer.
Yeah. Cool.
And yeah, that's been cool. I feel like that's just made me a lot quicker. And then, yeah, I bought a bunch of synths recently because like I was always like just on Serum and Anna and like they're great, but I've kind of just come to terms with the fact that I am not meant to sit down and program a synth. I don't have the attention span. I am not good at it.
Dude, it takes a lot of time, and I only do it when I absolutely have to.
Right. Like there's really no reason, like, you know, you're watching these top guys do stuff and they're like, yeah, I just like these presets. And it's like, okay, if it's okay for them, then it's okay for me. And I have no need, like I can tweak things.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not just going to start with a sine wave and like build out some crazy layered sound. So I bought more synths. I bought Pigments because it was on sale.
Heck
Pigments
yeah.
is insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Destroys everything. And then I bought all the Arturia stuff.
Oh, nice.
Which is a lot.
Analog Labs?
Yeah,
right?
It's literally just all presets. It's very, very small tweaks you can make to it, but that's perfect for me.
Yeah.
And the hard part is getting sounds quickly in there. So I'm in the process of like, okay, right now I'm only using bass sounds from it. So I pick out my favorite bass sounds, familiarize myself with them, customize them, save my own presets. Next, I'll probably do like pads and then plucks. And
I would recommend second doing ARPs, because ARPs in that.
Oh yeah, it has the ARP in there,
bro. Well, and just the sense that it models are very like, a lot of them are synths that you would want to use ARPs with, like those 80s kind of.
Bro, the
synth.
DX7. I want to buy one.
Dude,
they're
right?
cheap. You can get one for like $300 in decent condition.
Yeah,
I think I might buy one.
I have a synth at my house somewhere that I'm not using right now because I need to fix the power. The power on it is shot, so I have to like rebuild something inside it. But it's gonna be a little house project for me.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, dude, I like that one. I've been really digging. I bought the whole Native Instruments bundle again for I upgraded to 13 because I have. So I already had Complete Ultimate 12, which I got last year, and I had Complete 11 the previous year. So I upgraded whenever I upgraded to the next higher bundle whenever I updated all of my stuff. So I did the same thing this year. I went to 13, but I went to the complete, what is it called? The Complete Ultimate Special Edition.
Yeah, it's like special or like collector's edition.
Collector's edition,
silly.
yeah. It's literally every single plugin that they have on sale right now.
Yeah, see, my problem with that is I don't want anything that they have other than Contact. So I'm still using the demo version of Contact because I'm not paying $400 for it.
I honestly, there's so much cool stuff in there. Like the Damage stuff is really cool for like distorted drums and like crazy industrial sounding kits. The Evolve stuff is super sick for like really textural, like percussion-y stuff, or like melodic kind of like ticks and things like that. But I do a lot of that kind of stuff, so it makes sense for me to have it. I don't know if it necessarily makes sense for you to have it.
I could use a lot of it, especially like the strings. And
the strings are okay.
Right, like I don't need anything crazy.
Those are just okay. Honestly, those are great for layering more so than they are for anything else.
Right, that's the only reason why.
If you were gonna go big on strings, I would go probably like East West or Spitfire.
Yeah.
Or Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I don't do that much strings programming in general. I've maybe done like one really intense song all year. Of like fully broken out like orchestral style stuff. And that was for Heirloom.
I'm definitely interested. I mean, that's been on my mind lately. I just need to get it because like everybody has it, and I feel like I could really use a lot in it.
There's a bunch of niche stuff that you don't think about that you're like, oh, this is really tight.
Yeah.
Like what we probably need to do, man, is next time we're together, which will be relatively soon in Nashville, probably.
If that's even still happening.
If we can make that happen. But yeah, if we can make it happen, I would love for you to just kind of sit down with my laptop and you can just kind of go through everything, check it out. That'd probably be the best way for you to do it.
So here's another thing. Nick has a really old version of it that he doesn't use. Like I think he bought it in like 2015 or 16.
Okay.
And so I was like, hey man, what if I could use one of those licenses?
Yeah, dude, just use it.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go that route.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like I mean, I think that's fair. Hey man, give me one of your licenses and I'll pay for the upgrade.
Yeah, that dude. The
You know what I mean?
upgrade
Like
is so cheap too. Like I mean, I upgraded, and I think it cost me like $250.
it just kind of sucks because like the last things on my list besides like a few other libraries and stuff is exactly where you were last year, where it's like, okay, I need Ableton Suite and I need Complete, and I'm just like, oh, because I want Suite, like,
and upgrading to what, to 12 or 13 or whatever the heck it is.
yeah, I just got so part of the UAD thing is I bought the Neve preamp, which kind of makes this microphone sound okay. And then I got the Precision de-esser, and then I just run like a Jason Joshua low shelf all the way up to like 5K. Do a low cut, suck out some bad frequencies in my voice, and then I just run that immediately into the de-esser, and then that gets comped by the 2A. And it's just been like heaven.
Heck yeah.
And I'm just like, this is great. This is how I want my vocals to sound, sort of.
That's like your vocal chain, man. It's at least you're starting to get closer to the vocal chain you have that you hear in your head.
Yeah, and then I think I'm going to take advantage of the UAD sale this month, and I've been demoing a bunch of different things because the Tube Tech is on sale with SoftTube also. So it's just trying to figure out like what I want and like what I'm actually going to use. And it's really come down to their guitar amps. We just used the I forget which Marshall we used. We used one of the Plexis, and then we also used one of the Blues Breakers last night, and they just sound so good. Like the stock cabinets and everything, like bro, like Metalcore Josh was like screaming as I was setting it all up, because I was like, no, I'm gonna commit with this much room sound, and I was like, yes, you are.
Yeah,
time to step into it, and it's perfect. Like these pop songs, they're so processed after the fact anyway. Like, oh, if I need more high end, I'm just gonna distort the high end. That's the sound, you know,
for sure.
And it's either that or it's a super clean guitar, which you could get anyway. So like, that's been sick. And I've been having a blast just like committing to things on the way in. So I just got to figure out what I want to get, because I'm going to get a satellite here shortly. And
I've been really enjoying, honestly, like, not to toot our own horn, but like these last 3 podcast episodes before this one, the 2 that you did with Enoch and Greg and Lee's, dude, those are some dang good episodes. Like, listener, if you have not listened to those episodes, you need to listen to those episodes, because I wasn't even in 2 of them, and I listened to them all the way through, not only because I was editing them, I listened to them again when we released them, because they were just really good. Like Greg, there's a lot of stuff that Greg talked about that was really cool. Enoch going through a very in-depth explanation of like what sync is and what he does and how they work at that pitch is really awesome. And then just like Lee's whole conversation of talking about like how he, because I mean, dude's doing huge stuff. You know what I mean? Like he's literally working with like one of the top labels in the country and in the world, really. And he's just kind of talking about how they got there and what they did to get there, and how like it was actually pretty simple. It was a bunch of really great guys that got together that knew what they were doing that killed it. So yeah, I don't want to toot our own horn, but also I'm going to, because I think those episodes are some of the best interviews that we've done.
Yeah, I agree.
For real.
And yeah, it was funny because like Greg and I finished that episode and we were both just like, man, we didn't talk about anything that we said we were going to talk about. And there's also a lot of stuff that he's doing that we just can't talk about publicly.
Which is great. Well, I'm excited.
So,
I'm excited for some of that stuff to drop so that we can talk about it.
Right. And that's going to be really dope because, you know, I don't know. It's cool, man. Like they always talk about like find your crew, like, and it's always neat just like finally experiencing that and being like, wow, yeah, like everybody's like doing cool things now.
Yep.
You know, like.
Yeah. No,
like
everybody's
you don't believe
killing
it
in the
like you don't
crew.
believe it. You hear like your favorite like producer or whatever talk, and they're like, oh yeah, so like I was hanging out with my friend, and like we were doing this with this artist and that artist, and then one artist got a deal, and then we got a deal, and then blah blah blah, and they're like, just you know, find people that you want to work with, and I'm like, I don't think it's that simple, and well, it, like obviously there's more to it than that. It's just like in a way, like it kind of is.
It is kind of that simple. You just have to surround yourself with great people and be that good.
Right. You just have to be with great people and do great work, and like everything will be fine. But like what's most important is that you actually do great work and it gets put out.
And you don't punish people. That's another part of it, because it's really easy. I mean, some of the guys that we hang out with and some of the guys we talk with, and if we had like less self-awareness, it'd be very easy to punish. You know? So and real quick, I do want to mention, hopefully this week, this ad will be done, but I'm going to say it right now anyway, just in case. Enoch gave us a really good, deal for everybody that listens, for That Pitch. If you don't know what That Pitch is, you can go listen to his episode on, sync licensing and that kind of stuff. But if you want to get, you know, some use out of your unused tracks that you don't have anywhere to put, or you just want, you know, to flex that writing muscle and get some, you know, writing practice in, but you also want to make money at the same time, That Pitch is really cool. Josh is a really big fan of the community surrounding That Pitch, and so are we. That's where we met a lot of these people.
We're just mascots, dude.
Dude, I know, man.
We pay our friends money every single month to stay in this Facebook community, and I don't think either of us have actually submitted anything to them in months.
I have, but I didn't get to I have, but it was the wrong file.
Dude, that's hilarious. See, this is what I'm talking about. We're just mascots.
I know, dude. It was great, but like, so Enoch and Mark were kind enough to give us a code. It's Hangout. So if you go to thatpitch.com and you select the monthly or yearly option, I pay yearly, Josh pays monthly.
I have commitment issues.
Yeah. But Josh pays monthly, I pay yearly. You get 20% off that price, which is dope. That's a huge percentage off of a price. Like I expected, honestly, like about 10%. So for them to give us our listeners and, you know, everyone that uses that code Hangout at checkout 20% off is super dope.
So what's also crazy about this is while we were recording that episode, Enoch just sent me a text and he said, "Hey, I just made this code." And I said, "Okay, I think we need to do something else with this." And so we didn't ask for that. We didn't do nothing. They just offered it, and we were like, "Okay, well, I guess that this is the first brand that we run ads for."
Yeah.
Other than Anchor.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're excited to.
So me and Shama shot an ad that's actually going to be really cool. We'll be running that soon. But go shout out the homies. Go tell them what's up. Go get plugged into that community, man. Honestly,
they just launched that playlist.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I wasn't paying attention. Explain this.
So Mark ran me through it. They're currently in like the beta stage. And so how this works is you, as like an artist, you submit your music to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they basically analyze like your fan base and like interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they then, from my understanding, scan all these playlists and find matches, and then they give you the contact information to those curators.
He's too nice, man.
Which is crazy. And I kind of want to like,
dude, that alone for an artist is worth the yearly or monthly fee.
It's like twice the cost.
But I'm saying like just that.
Oh yeah, just that. And like on top of that, like here's the deal. If you make what 1 or 2 sync placements with them, then like
if you
pays
make
for itself.
If you make one sync placement, because it's $250, if you make one sync placement, you get $250 for a sync placement, and that is more than the cost for the yearly fee with our discount.
Yeah, and then if you land on one playlist and hit 1 million streams, then like whatever, it doesn't even matter.
Exactly. And then on top of that, the community building, the connections you're going to make, there are heavy hitters in that community, dude.
Yeah, and then there's
heavy
also
hitters.
another that thing, and I don't know what it is. But yeah, there's
a lot of stuff, man.
Very busy over there.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff. Shout out to all of them for being so great and great people and bringing us into like their kind of pseudo family to help.
Yeah, because they're now like knee deep into publishing too. Like they just got everything going on. I'm about to.
They're gonna honestly, man. They're gonna be huge one day, and we're just seeing the beginning of all of this. So if you're not involved, get involved now. They're great people, great, awesome community, awesome connections, awesome. Not even the potential to make money on that. You know what I'm saying? We're not even talking about the potential to make money.
Another thing is that Mark even now has like this whole like business development thing tied into it as well. So like if you're an audio engineer who's like trying to freelance and you also want like the opportunity to make extra income and then also learn a bunch of cool stuff, like it's just kind of like a no-brainer. It's so cheap. I think I pay more for Pipedrive.
And yeah, you do. And on top of that, the price, once you pay, like the price is going to go up realistically with what they're offering. There's no way that eventually it won't go up.
Right. And
once you get locked in, this is your price, dude.
Yeah. I still have like I was one of the first people to sign up. So I'm still grandfathered into like a really low rate. And, you know, because how they really structured this business is, okay, we're going to start small. And so they started small and then it grew and like, we
grew with them.
Yeah. So it's pretty dope.
No.
Definitely go check them out.
Yeah. That's hopefully that ad will run in this episode also. But if not, that's cool because we just spent like the last 15 minutes talking about it. So yeah,
we don't even need an ad this time around, bro.
I know, dude. It's
leave it out. We are the ad, dude. We're the mascots,
bro. We're freaking walking billboards for that pitch. I bleed pink,
bro. Same. It doesn't even matter anymore. Like I could never submit a file to them, and I would just be totally cool with them taking my money.
Dude, for sure, because you get so much. It's the ROI on value that they bring outside of the monetary stuff is so huge that it's worth every penny tenfold. I would pay double the price of what I just paid for this year for access.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about all that. I have Enoch's phone number, so
I mean, fair, but
I mean, if we're talking about if I really just use it for the Facebook group, like
yeah.
Oh man.
I have Enoch's phone number. No, I can kind of go through what I've been doing.
Yeah, man.
So January was cool. It was nice to start the year kind of knowing that I was just going to double down on the production side of things and everything I've been doing, which is crazy because then I got more mixing work.
Bro, tell me how I got mixing work. Can someone explain that to me? I'm like, hey, I write and produce songs. And everyone's like, hey, do you want to mix this? I'm like, do I look like I'm mixing? Like,
Dude, I literally was like, beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to really focus on like, producing. And then literally 5 people were like, hey, you want to mix this? Hey, you want to mix this? And they were like, I charged, I asked for more because I wasn't planning on mixing this year. And everybody was like, K. So I've only had one project like cancel on me, but
bro, I had such a dope project just cancel on me. Well, they didn't cancel on me. They ghosted me.
Oh, see, that's worse.
I was supposed to fly to Tampa to cut vocals for him and everything. And it was like a pretty high rate for me. And they were just like, yeah, this all sounds perfect. I was like,
and then they just ghosted you. That sucks.
Yeah.
No,
well, they probably went to like Clear Track and paid for like a 4-hour block for the same price.
Yeah. Mine was, we were about to have Micah, and the timeline was just not working out with like how quick they wanted stuff and my pace of work at that point. Because I was mixing 3 EPs. No, 3 full lengths at that point. Because this was before I finished the other full length. I was mixing 3 full lengths at the same time on top of prepping to have the baby. So that's a lot of work.
The baby.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, man. So yeah, they were like, I don't know. It was just like, hey, this is the rate that I can do it. And they thought that they were cool with that time frame. And then they decided they weren't. So I sent them the sessions, and it was no big deal. They paid me, what I mixed, which is cool.
That's sick.
But outside of that, I mean, I'm mixing this heirloom stuff because Chris had a baby. He had some stress.
Everybody's just getting kids.
Dude, I know, man. They had their second one. So did Shama.
God, that's so many kids.
So yeah, Chris had that, and so he asked me if I didn't mind. He's been blowing up on the streaming stuff too, which is really cool. And TGI is about to get back to doing shows, which is also really cool. So he's just had a lot going on, and he was like, hey man, do you mind mixing it? And Heirloom guys were down to let me do it. So I've been mixing that, and I think so far it's been received really well by everybody, which is awesome. I'm finishing up that EP. Also, if you are watching or listening and noticing that my voice sounds different, you may not notice, but if you're watching and you're like, oh, he's in a different place, I'm currently in Graham, North Carolina, which is like in between Durham and Greensboro.
Dude, what's sick is you say that like I would actually know where that's at.
Yeah.
North Carolina is just a giant blob, and every time I see the words North Carolina, to me it reads as Southern Ohio.
It's that like it's on the pan part of North Carolina, the flat part on the top.
I cheated on my geography final in 8th grade. I have no clue.
Yeah. So I'm up here. I was up here tracking a full length that I've been producing. So we got 3 songs done today. So and this studio just moved. I was telling Josh, the studio that I normally work at, their place got bought out, so they moved to a new place, and that's where I'm at right now. And it's actually honestly an upgrade. It's really dope. So I've been getting used to this new room, tracking in this new place. I normally don't do podcasts on the road, but it just kind of worked out this way.
Yeah, because I have to go down for a session, and you're there already, like finishing up a session. And
I know
our free times just met in the middle.
Bro, who has free time anymore?
Not me.
So, but yeah, no, I've been just working. I picked up an editing gig for this video company. 98 Central is the parent company, and they have a subsidiary that just does podcasts called Pronk Studios. So I've been producing and part-time producing and editing all of their video and audio podcasts that come out of there. So that's been really cool. As far as consistent work that happens literally every single week. So at this point, I'm questioning my coffee shop job that I have still.
Bro, I feel that to my core. Every day you get texts from me where it's just like, yep,
I'm done. I can't do this.
I can't do this. I'm
See,
done.
the problem is I love my job. So like I
would love
quit.
my job if I had no other purpose.
Well, yeah, but like I'm able to do everything that I do and also keep that job. So
yeah. It's the timeline's getting down to the wire here, boys. Josh is like already 3 months past his expiration date, so it's only a matter of time before I put in my notice and I don't come back. But so Dan, Joe, if you're listening to this,
which they're not,
I hope to God you're not, but it's coming soon.
That's
seriously
funny.
Just like a couple more paychecks, a couple more bigger projects. I'm out. That's game
so
over.
Funny.
I'm done.
But yeah, so I mean, I'm excited because it looks like traveling producing gigs are going to open back up. I'm setting up a couple live sessions for Hostile Array and Heirloom. I'm setting up their live, mixing their live stuff and setting up their Ableton sessions for their backtracks and MIDI stuff.
Very nice.
So that's really cool. I'm going to Blue Ridge Fest and I'm running Heirloom's backtracks for Blue Ridge Rock Fest in Virginia, which is awesome because I'm going to check off a lot of bands that I've been wanting to see at that festival.
Who's playing?
Bro, Spirit Box is playing their first American show.
That's cool.
So I'm very excited. And I'm excited to meet Mike because Chris is like, so the Ghost Inside is playing. So me and Chris are going to hang out a bunch. And he was like, yeah, I need to introduce you to Mike. He's really cool. So
who's Mike?
Their guitar player, Courtney's husband.
Oh.
He's the guy that writes everything for the most part.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I'm going to unironically see Limp Bizkit play Chocolate Starfish from front to back. You love me.
I mean, okay. Mark, how do you say his last name? It's like Rebillet.
Rebier.
Rebier. That's weird. What a cool name.
Dude,
what a
French.
king.
So French.
I love him. So he's coming to Pittsburgh in October.
Dude, he's coming to Asheville. I want to go see him.
I kind of want to go really bad.
Breaking Benjamin's going to be there at that festival.
Dude, so much butt rock.
Dude, it's a lot of butt rock. But then there's also some other really cool like metalcore stuff. And like Tech Nine's going to be there.
Is Lowe's playing?
Loath? No British bands are playing.
Oh.
Because of COVID restrictions with flights and stuff. It was hard, I think, to get flights. So
Man, that means the two bands that I want to see aren't going to be here for a while.
Probably not.
That sucks. Because I haven't seen Bring Me since Warped Tour of like 2012 or something.
Mm-hmm. I want to see them really bad too.
I haven't seen the 1975 since like 2018. And so like we were going to go in Florida to see both those bands, and then everything got canceled. We were supposed to go see Black Bear with Halsey. Halsey was on the tour. It was going to be so good. Dude, there were so many good shows coming through there because like Tampa, and then there's another place where you can go. That's a city. I forget the name. And like they just had all these shows coming through. And I was like, bro, what? Like I'm not used to living in a place that isn't like
it gets shows.
A B market, you know?
Yeah, dude. A markets are tight. I live 2 hours within two of them, so it's really nice to just be able to like dip and go to a show and hang out with my buddies.
It sucks for us because Columbus is like almost an A market, and Cleveland is like the same size as Pittsburgh. So, like,
get a lot of the same shows. Yeah,
it's just never good.
I was about to say the closest A market to you is probably
New York.
Yeah, because Philly's still a B market, right?
Probably because New York's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like people live in Philly and go
work
to
in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, New York's probably the closest A market to you that I can think of, actually. Yeah.
Chicago. Maybe Detroit. Is Detroit an A market? Probably.
Chicago would be closer to Detroit to you, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chicago is an A market. Detroit is, I believe, considered an A market.
Yeah. So it'd probably be Detroit, and that's like 5.5 hours.
I figure Chicago would be closer than you than Detroit. No, you're right.
Bro, you're worse at geography than I am.
No, yeah, you just go around and up, and then Chicago's like you have to go all the way across.
Wait, not the Detroit Lions. You think I care about sports other than Penguins hockey? Of course not. I bleed black and yellow. All right. And now you got me interested because Detroit is literally. Oh, it's 4 hours away. That's just a walk in the park. And
Detroit is? Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Chicago is 6 hours and 50 minutes. And then New York, I think it's like 8 hours.
Dang.
No, that's actually 30 minutes closer than Chicago.
There you go.
Yeah, so, just a nice casual 6 hour drive.
Dude, that's me in Nashville, bro. Nashville's a little closer. Nashville's 5 hours.
Nashville's
For me.
9 hours for me.
That's so sad. Dude, go to Detroit. Go see some shows.
Bro, I don't want to go to Detroit. Like, have you ever, okay, I mean, you've toured. So,
Yeah.
you know when you're in Ohio and you're like, oh, man, this is bad. And then you cross over the Michigan line and you're like, this place, the ground looks sick. And, the closer that you get to Detroit.
I'm leaving. I'm sorry.
That's so good. The ground looks sick.
Yeah, dude, I remember we crossed over and it was just it went from heroin needles on the side of the road to just pollution. Because you're getting closer to Detroit, which
literal
is
barrels with the little crossbones on it just lining the street.
bro, I swear to you, okay, whenever you go bowling and you have the bumpers if you're a child or if you're me
Yeah.
at 24, then that's what they do on the roads there because all the cars are breaking down and they need something to stop it, so they just use toxic waste. I've never seen a place that looks so polluted, and the closer you get to Detroit, the worse it gets.
That's incredible.
And it's just a bad place. I don't want to go back to Michigan. Upstate Michigan is gorgeous. One of the prettiest places I've ever been.
Honestly, Lake Michigan, S tier swimming.
Really? Lake Erie's a little gross, dude. They're always getting E. coli outbreaks. And I'm just
Lake Michigan, but you go to the Wisconsin side of Lake Michigan.
Oh, then you get the
Dude.
cheese.
Bro, Minnesota side of Lake Michigan is top tier swimming, dude. It is cold and refreshing and clean.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
Dude, it probably tastes like cheese.
A little
It's a
bit.
good time.
Yeah, dude. Cheese curds.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I mean, and that's coming from a dude who I live next to the Beaver River, or no, the Ohio River. Yeah, the Beaver River turns into the Ohio River. Everything's named after beavers here, and dude, you think I'm kidding? I live in Beaver County.
Dude, that's true. I forget.
There's a town called Beaver and Beaver Falls. My girlfriend grew up on Beaver Road.
I bet there's
all right?
0 beavers.
Bro, I'll tell you what, there are some serious well, no, they probably all just died from the polluted water, but
Or they transformed and now they'll fight you.
oh, dude, 100%. But Pittsburgh is a very polluted place
Yeah.
because of all the manufacturing along the rivers, and it's gotten better over the years, But I
What we're
crossed
saying,
over to
listeners,
Michigan
is
and I
don't
was
go to
it's even
Pittsburgh.
worse. Don't go to Pittsburgh. Don't. How about this? Avoid anywhere besides the southern coasts minus Florida, and then the west coast
Yeah, there you go.
minus I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
It's all,
The West
it's
Coast is
pretty
all
okay.
I'm about to say West Coast is all pretty nice.
Yeah,
I
once
mean,
you get inland, it gets a little weird. No one actually wants to go to Bakersfield or Fresno.
Not really. No, the only cool thing inland is the national parks.
Yeah, the parks are sick, and then Colorado is nice.
Well, I mean inland in California. No, the top tier place I want to go this year, Arizona, like Flagstaff.
Bro, same. I was just talking to Maddie about how much I would love, because like, so the thing with Nashville, a lot of people haven't gotten back to us about it, and it's like I'm not about to go down there just to like not do anything.
Yeah.
Because like the idea was to just like have a ton of people working in the same house. It'd be fun, like a networking, writing, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm not just gonna like drag Maddie to Nashville for us to like sit in an Airbnb so I could see like Greg and then like meet up with like 2 other people and then go home.
Mallory and a couple others. Yeah.
I was like, I might as well, like, how sick would it be if we just like disappeared into the desert? And then I got reminded of the fact that it's gonna be July.
Dude, but Flagstaff, Arizona is in the mountains, and it is
Right, it's in the mountains. See, I
chilly.
wasn't talking about that. I wanted to be like near Phoenix and then be like
Nope, you don't
in
want
the desert.
Don't
I'm
want to
gonna
do
go
that.
out into the middle of nowhere. I'm gonna pitch a tent on top of a plateau and I'm gonna just sit there and stare for 7 days. That's what I want to do.
Just contemplate your existence.
Dude, that's all that would matter. I would literally just sit there and become one with the dust in the air.
There you
Then
go.
I would come home and quit my job.
And then produce. You can just move. That's what would happen.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
I just want to
"Damn."
come back. You're like, what
Yeah.
happened to Josh? I don't know. He's like a hermit in the desert. I'd be like
Yeah.
like in episode 4 whenever he finally finds Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
That's me, bro.
dude. You can go to Arizona. You can meet Steven, who you didn't get to be on the podcast with.
Right.
You can go check out his coffee shop / venue.
Bro, another thing I was considering is just New Mexico. New Mexico seems like a terrible place.
Yeah,
But like it would be so cool just to be like surrounded by nothing.
about to say, you want to talk about some desert.
Dude,
East,
just
like
nothing.
East Texas and New Mexico. That's like really bad. It's super dusty, man. We played a festival. I think I told you about this. We played a festival with like the Devil Wears Prada and Fit for a King in East Texas one time.
That sounds like the most like Christcore thing in the world.
I know it was
Like-
it was a Christian
like-
festival.
Like, yeah, like a Christian metalcore festival is like a pretty common thing, but then like the only way to make it more on brand is if you put it in the desert.
Put it in the desert. You know what's funnier though? Put it in the desert. Make Fit for a King like the second band on the bill, and the headliner is Disciple. Even though Fit for a King is like millions of monthly listeners.
Disciple, how many monthly listeners does Disciple have? I
No
haven't
idea.
heard that name, dude. I'm looking that up.
Yeah, dude, they headlined. It was funny.
They have
I mean,
171,000 monthly listeners.
I mean, they're nice
Wow.
dudes. I like them.
Wait,
One
that's
of-
Fit for an
they're-
Autopsy.
Their drummer lives in Greenville.
Fit for a King is almost 8 times.
Mhm.
Oh, God.
They were at 1 million when their record dropped last year. They hit 1 million monthly whenever the record dropped last year.
So,
I think
like-
I think they've dipped into like the 900,000 area or something, 800,000.
Bro,
but-
that's just silly. And
Yeah,
they
it's-
put Disciple.
Yeah, it's funny, dude. At like the year before that record dropped, it was absolutely silly. Anyway, back to the point of this episode, which is what have we been up to and what are we gonna do? Basically, I've been working my absolute tail off trying to let my wife have a good 12 months of maternity leave. So that we don't like fall behind on bills or anything because she's just
12
not working.
months?
12 weeks.
Oh, I thought you said months. And I
Oh,
was like,
I may have.
that's
I
a
don't-
long time.
No, I may have 12 weeks of maternity leave, 3 months, 12 weeks of maternity leave, so that we don't fall behind on like bills or anything like that. 'Cause she doesn't get paid maternity leave because that's that nonprofit life.
Hey, it's
Um,
America.
Yeah, bro, this is America, and that's a nonprofit. That's not working for a nonprofit for you. So we saved up a bunch of money. So I'm just trying to like, work all day, every day so that she can enjoy time with Micah before she has to go back to work, which is next week, I think. So
I've been wanting to ask you about that. So are you going to be like mostly watching the baby, or are you getting like daycare. Like,
So we can't afford daycare because daycare is expensive,
it's really expensive.
bro. And it's not even that it's expensive. It is expensive, but it is hard to get into
Yeah, isn't a lot of places have like wait lists and stuff.
for like a year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why childcare is so difficult, man.
It's because, well, it's not difficult. Good child care is difficult. That's the key difference
and
there.
it's just like-
There's plenty of really bad child care out there, but like if you want good child care for your kid, man, you got to pay for it and wait
Bro,
for
I
it.
worked with this woman where like she was probably making like 40 grand a year, and she was like, literally almost all of the money I make here just goes to childcare.
Dude, I know like 3 people in Greenville that nanny. One girl was nannying full time, and I know like 2 other girls that nanny for a living. And bro, they make like almost full time like salaries. Like you're talking like $30,000 to $40,000 a year. Just nannying for like really rich people that don't want to send their kids to childcare.
I don't blame them though. I wouldn't.
No,
want
dude,
to.
well, exactly. I wouldn't, dude. That's how you bring diseases into your house. I mean, we just went through a pandemic, like, and we learned how quickly things spread just by like some
Bro,
sort
and
of
then, like,
contact.
You don't know how they're treated and all that stuff. Like, and like I get that some people are like, oh, well, it's good for them to socialize. Like, bro, just put them in preschool.
Yeah.
Whenever
Well,
they're
and
old enough.
they'll be in preschool eventually. Yeah.
Right,
Well, and
you
like
know what I
have
mean?
them and have
Like-
them socialize with their like like either siblings or like cousins or whatever.
Yeah, like you don't need your 6-month-old kid socializing. Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do? Stare at something? Like, I don't know. I don't
And-
get it.
Yeah. So what we're doing is my mom is watching him 2 days a week. Her mom is watching him 2 days a week, and I get him on Wednesdays,
Nice.
which is it's convenient. And that's like the perk of, we talk a lot about like, this is a very pertinent podcast subject actually, but we talk a lot about the like the freedom that we want to have, you know, with like financial freedom, but also like, you know, time freedom, being able to kind of do what we want when we want to, for the most part. And this is kind of part of that, where if I wasn't, you know, the majority of what I do is at my house. It's freelance audio work. I only do 1 or 2 days a week because I'm cutting my hours down at the coffee shop. Like I'm only working maybe 10 hours total a week at the coffee shop, but I work like 60-hour weeks doing audio stuff. If I didn't do that, there was no way that we would be able to exist, because we would have to have somebody to watch him, and we couldn't afford to pay anybody to do it. And we're already kind of stretching ourselves thin with, you know, my mom and her mom. We just got lucky that they also, you know, her mom's retired and my mom only works a couple days a week.
Yeah, like that's the one really cool thing about like what me and Maddie do. It's like we'll both be kind of like working for ourselves, because our goal is to get into animation, and a lot of those positions are kind of like a contract thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot
You're
of
contracted for seasons a lot of times, or like
Yeah.
for like sections of the year. You'll notice when you watch TV, there are sections of the year where more TV animated content is getting made, and then you're off for like basically that same amount of time just after that.
Yeah, and so like, you know, it's a lot more flexible,
For sure.
but like it's still terrifying.
Dude, yeah. Well, and it's really nice to just be able to go like, if something does happen and one of our parents can't watch him, like I got it covered. You know, like I could do it. I could, you know, make it happen for a couple weeks. He sleeps a lot, so I could just throw on some headphones and post up on the couch and mix from
Bro,
the couch.
actually, you want advice from my mama. So whenever I was young, her one friend was like my mom was like complaining about like, yeah, you know, I hate not being able to like run the vacuum or like do anything whenever he's sleeping. They were like, just do it. She was like, but then I'll wake up. Like, but eventually he won't. And so
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever, I'll try it. So like, I would just be sitting there sleeping while she's vacuuming, while she's, you know, making all kinds of crazy noise. And then my parents were able to take me out and like go to parties with friends, and you know, they didn't have to like rush home at 7:30 to put me to bed because I would just sleep anywhere.
Yeah. Hey.
So if you like
that's a good call.
sleeping, that's something that you should probably try, because it could have very well been a fluke for me, because like my brother wasn't like that at all, but he could never sleep to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hey man,
that's
let your
good.
kidless friend give you advice on how to parent your kid, right?
Well, I do something kind of like that. Right now, where he naps is in his. We have this thing called a mamaroo. Looks like a little half egg looking thing. Looks like a spaceship pod, actually. It's really
cool.
It's really dope. I kind of want one for me, but he naps in it, and it like I can set it on different motion settings, and it'll just like rock. Like,
yes, you showed me that. That thing is sick,
dude. It's so tight.
And then Maddie's,
it's right next to my record player, so I just play records while he sleeps.
oh yeah, dude, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Maddie's cousin, who just had a kid, she started it's almost like white noise training, or like you know how you could like train animals to like do certain things when you ring a bell. Like humans are innately like the same exact way.
Yeah.
And so like I guess if she puts on white noise, the baby, even though it can't speak yet, just understands, okay, it's time for bed, and it'll just fall asleep.
Yeah, we do that too.
How does that even work? How do you do that?
So we do that for a couple reasons. One, because you just do it at the same time whenever he's sleeping. So whenever he's sleeping, you always turn it on, and he'll get used to that noise being associated with sleep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's simple enough. I wasn't sure if there's like anything else that you got to do, because like,
no.
I don't know. That's like some.
But then also you do it like throughout. So you do it in the middle of the day whenever you're like rocking him to sleep. You put it on so that like, you know, whenever he's getting sleepy, he hears that sound. But Erin sleeps to white noise anyway, because she can't have silence. And I sleep.
Does
with
she have
headphones
tinnitus?
No, she doesn't. It's more of a. I think it's an OCD thing for her. It's like she has to be hearing something. Otherwise,
I'm kind of the same way. But
otherwise,
it's
she
mostly
like
just with air.
hyperfixates on like noises outside, and it freaks her out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's kind of like a dog, you know, like whenever things are really quiet in the house, and then like anything makes a noise, like they freak out and start barking at stuff. It's kind of the same. It's kind of the same idea. I did just compare my wife to a dog. So
I was about to say that. Or like, dude, are you sure you want to put this out? Like, Aaron's you're gonna walk in, and Aaron is just gonna be ready to beat you,
bro. It's okay. We'll fight. We don't care.
We'll fight. I keep gloves.
Yeah.
I could totally see you guys like boxing over something
brawling
like that.
it out, bro.
You have like, you just hear ding ding.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Backyard brawling, dude. But no, like that's kind of the baby stuff has been really interesting to navigate. I'm excited to. I think we're probably gonna have Greg on again with me, so that we can talk about a lot of that stuff, because I really want to talk about. I know he talked about some of it with you, but I think it'd be, you know, just because I feel like I can bounce more questions off of him if I'm physically there, it would be a really cool conversation to have with him.
Maybe you could give me a week off.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
We'll just have 2 episodes. It'll be alone time with Greg.
Yeah, we could probably do that. That'd be fun. We have Greg as like a guest host or something when you're on like a vacation or something. Because you've already given me like 5 weeks off. You gave me 3 weeks off, and then whenever I was on maternity leave for the first little bit, and then the 2 weeks I was in Nashville.
Bro, you're just always like running around having kids. Your attendance on this podcast is almost as bad as my D&D attendance.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay. I did that Steven episode without you. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, for it.
So let's like looking into the future. What are we thinking? Because I got to think about this while you talk a little bit. But like, what do you have planned? let's just say within the next like 3 or 4 months. I don't want to go.
No,
6.
I'm going 6 months. We're going to the end of the year.
Go into the year. What you got next year? Into the year. Next time we have a podcast.
Now that like we're able to travel again, my only goals are to write with more artists that I care about who are doing cool things. I want to help artists build their career.
Yeah.
Not to like that level though. You know what I mean? Like I just want to like grow with people.
Like develop with people.
Right. Like I mean, I guess you could say, "Oh, I'm developing artists," but like that's not really what it is. It's just like there's people like Asa and Mike. Like I like those guys, and I want to give them music, and I want to work with them and make even better music, and I want to keep doing that until they're famous. And so, you know, right now I have 3 artists that I'm kind of like developing like that, and so there's that. I have a bunch of guys that I really want to go write with. You know, and I'm just trying to like pick the things because like I kind of screwed up, took on a bunch of free work just because I was like, I'm feeling giving and I want to just do stuff.
Yeah.
I picked some of the wrong people to do it with. And then like, they just don't care or they're like asking for a lot of stuff. And I'm just like, bro, this was like for fun.
Yeah.
I told you it was for fun. And they're like, but like, hey man, why don't you just revise it 5 more times? I'm like, are you paying me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. Like, it was supposed to be for fun. So yeah, I want to write with those guys more. I want to start writing with other writers in person, which would be sick. I want to travel a ton. You know, we were hoping to do Nashville next month and then do LA in September and then do New York in October. But I don't think I'm going to go to Nashville anymore. And so we're looking at just like disappearing for a little bit.
I think, dude, I think a vacation for you guys is probably more needed than you traveling a lot right now. I feel like you guys the pandemic was like extra rough on you guys with the moves and, you know, losing family members and then having to get your job again. And then like her internship kind of booting her and then job stuff with her not quite working out. And yeah, you guys just need like to get away for a little
on top of all that.
And then health issues on top of that, bro. Yeah, you need to just get away for a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I really just like whenever I said I want to sit on top of a plateau and just stare.
Dude, I totally get it.
That's where I'm at right now. I'm so drained, but like I'm writing the best songs ever, which doesn't make sense. But like, yeah, no, that's my 6-month goal. But right now, my only goal is to work with artists that I care about, whether I get paid or not. And I'm basically just chasing that next level up. Whether it's like a label release or like some kind of like a publishing deal or something like that. Like I just need to get enough going for me that I can use it as leverage to get to the next step. And then I do enough of that stuff until I use it as leverage for the next step. And then you rinse, wash, and repeat until, you know, you're famous.
For sure. I have a lot on my plate. I am taking very little new work right now. So I need to finish everything that's on my plate and just have a clean slate, you know?
That's where I'm at. Yeah, I feel that.
I just need to like not take anything until I am completely done. I know it's probably not a great way to be, but I'm pretty confident in myself and my ability to like get work. I just need to not do anything other than what's on my plate already for probably about a month. And then once that's done, dope. My plan is I miss all of my Atlanta friends a lot. So I want to go and write with them. I want to go and produce with them, meet up with Lee, hang out with those guys, kind of get connected with him more. And my friend Carter, me and him are supposed to write. I want to go to Nashville, do some writing with those people, some of my friends up there, and some people that I don't know. But I kind of want to be, not even like write, I kind of want to be like the producer in the writer's room, like the Greg. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be the guy that's like, while they're figuring out, you know, lyrics and top line and whatnot, being the guy that's over there going like, all right, this sounds really dope, and this sounds really dope, and this sounds really dope. Or at least one of the guys doing that. You know what I mean? be more of the writing producer.
See, I'm very much like I've kind of, as I keep doing this stuff, it becomes more and more clear that like I'm good at building tracks, but like I'm not as good as other people. And so like if you just leave me to like writing, and then I feel like I'm really good at finishing records. And like those are the things that I'm mostly like I've been focused on.
I've been re-inspired a lot by Kenny Beats lately. And a lot of his stuff, because he is, in my opinion, the epitome of the producer that is a writing producer, right? Guys, the very like loose, hey, come by, let's hang out, let's work on something, let's just write something for fun, you know, very chill, low key. Let's make a track, make something that we enjoy, and you know, no charge. And if we like it, then we'll discuss splits. We'll discuss back end. Like I like that a lot, and I want to do more of that with more people. I have a writing trip planned for Nashville with my buddy Ian and Ryan and another this dude whose name is also Andrew, who writes and plays in a pretty cool band. That we're supposed to do some writing stuff together for Ian and Ryan's band. That's very kind of Nightly-esque, you know, that Nashville kind of minimalistic pop sound. So we're supposed to kind of do, I call it Discount 1975. Supposed to kind of do some of that stuff. But you'll see, man. I don't know. I'm excited. I think there's potential for the next 6 months. I think with the podcast, we're probably going to do a lot more. We want to get to the book stuff. We want to get to the deep dives on like how to set up your studio when you're first getting set up, how to get a client when you're first getting started. We want to kind of like give pretty in-depth guide episodes. I know me and you have talked about that.
Yeah.
And then there's some, I don't know, keep pushing with that pitch and get some other sponsors and stuff like that and make this podcast like a really good source of information for a lot of people. So yeah, dude, I think we got a lot planned for the future.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah. So we'll call it right there. Thank you guys for listening. Once again, check out thatpitch.com. Use the code HANGOUT for 20% off your order for either of the monthly or the yearly memberships. Yeah. Thanks for listening to us kind of just ramble and talk about, you know, what we've got going on and what we're going to do and everything that's been happening, and also just some random stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of sprinkled in between there.
Talking about training babies.
I know, dude. That sounds like a B movie.
Training babies.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's like Training Day, but with babies.
That's crazy. Dude, imagine just like a bunch of like you imagine if like the preschool like train the kids, and then like you just walk in, there's like a bunch of toddlers just like yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So thanks you guys
backflips.
Thank you guys for listening to our stupid podcast that we enjoy making.
We do.
Yeah, you guys have a great day.
And that's it for this episode of the Home Studio Hangout podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Please check us out on your favorite podcasting platform. Leave a review. It helps the show so much. Kind of get out there for new people to find. If you want to watch this, if you aren't already, check us out on YouTube by searching Home Studio Hangout. And thank you so much again for giving us your time and your attention. And remember, keep on creating.